Hi, my name is Aakanksha, and I'm originally from Mumbai in India, and I currently live in Dublin, Ireland. I came to Ireland to study 8 years ago, and I did my master's in journalism, and currently I'm working as a reporter for Dublin Live. So I'm just having a look at the questions. Uh, so, my biggest misconceptions versus the reality of studying and working in Ireland. Um, so I think I didn't really have. I kind of had an idea about what Ireland would be like because I'd studied in the UK. I know they're two different countries, but they're similar enough. I'd say like the Irish people are a lot friendlier. Mm, but yeah, no, it was I think I was delighted to come to Ireland. I was looking forward to it. I didn't realize how I'd seen pictures of Ireland before, but I didn't realize how green it actually was. And I think for me, um one of the things that surprised me about Dublin is it's a big European city, but it has small town vibes, which I really like. But yeah, so that I don't know if they're really misconceptions, but I hope that answered your question. I think cultural challenges as a student. I tried to I tried to do my best to talk to everyone that I met and like make friends. I know there is this kind of I know a lot of students face struggles with like making friends in Ireland. A lot of times, Irish people tend to kind of stick with their school friends or like people they've known all their lives. But it is possible to have friends here. Um, I think it's important to just kind of go in with an open mind, understand that these like you will be faced with a lot of culture shocks, and the best I can say is just um, be open to new experiences, and if you really if you really try your best, I found that my Irish friends have been some of the kindest, most compassionate, and loyal friends that I've made in my lifetime, and I'm really grateful to have met them. And it helps if you have obviously if you have hobbies in common. I think one of the exciting things about going to uni here is you're able to um, you're able to do you're able to try out new experiences, whether it be by joining different societies or uh, like volunteering. I'd say like try your best, make those connections, even if like you're not networking for your job. It's really good to have people around here, especially as an international student. You don't have your family here, so I'd say um, let the culture shocks happen. Where you're gonna go to a different country, there's gonna be things that you're not used to, and just accept them with an open mind, and remember that you're here for an experience. You're not just here to study, but you're here to experience a different type of lifestyle. So I did my master's in journalism in DCU. And I think for me it was the journalism industry is very small in Ireland. It's very hard to break into as an international student, I'll be honest about that. I found it really difficult to it's hard to get a job if you don't have any connections here. So I'd say like just like make sure you have the end goal in mind all the time. I think especially as a journalist, and what I said before is like come here with an open mind, learn about the culture, make sure you read news articles and newspapers every single day. Make sure you're aware of the political climate, the way things here work here, because by the time you get to um by the time you get to the point in your study year where you have to get an internship, there is massive competition, and you will be competing against Irish students who've lived here all their lives, so they're well aware of what the culture is like, what the day-to-day is like. And make sure you really immerse yourself in the culture. Make sure you know. I tried my best, and there were moments where I was like, I have no idea what this is a reference to. I have no idea what this who this famous person is. And thankfully I had colleagues who were very helpful, who were, kind enough to fill me in on all the details. But I think as a journalist, you really, really need to immerse yourself. You really need to go around talking to people. I think one of the things that is really difficult when you move to a different country is you feel scared to approach people, but I think you should try your best to overcome that fear. You should put yourself out there. And that's how you make friends, first of all. That's how you make connections. That's how you learn about the culture you're living in. And I think it will really make a difference if you go to an interview and show that despite being from a different country, you have a lot of knowledge about the way, about Ireland, and it's just everything, like politics, culture, anything at all, like anything is a plus point. So in terms of what specific programs or fields I'd recommend based on current industry demands, if you're looking to get into journalism, it is quite competitive, it is quite tough. I would always recommend my course at DCU, I did a master's, and it was quite tough. It was very very intense. They basically had a 4-year course, and they kind of turned it into a 1-year course, so it was quite busy. So you have to be sure you're up for we were basically doing 9 to 5, and then plus like the additional homework or going out and reporting on things. We did have some free time, but we were living and breathing journalism. And it is an extremely tough and intensive course. But I still recommend it. I would still say I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot, and it really helped me kind of understand the Irish culture, even though I was a student and I wasn't really interacting with, I wouldn't really be interacting with the general public as much as I am now. It really gave me an insight into what Irish culture is like, and I think it helped when I eventually moved to the workplace. And I realized that, and it helps to know, obviously, like the more you kind of the more you work, the more you get into the industry, it helps to have connections from your course as well, because all your classmates will be eventually going on to work in the industry. I am gonna say though that a lot of my classmates moved to PR because the pay is a lot better. I'm still in journalism because I really enjoy it, but a lot of journalism students just move to PR. So in terms of extracurricular activities, I always get that wrong, and internships and part-time jobs, it is always good to have those things on your CV. The extracurriculars especially are like very good. I would say just do a bit of volunteering. There's like loads of I know there's the so there's I know there's a few soup kitchens that are run in the center of town at the GPO. So there's the Muslim Sisters of Era. There is the local Ballsbridge Gurdwara, and I know there's other like soup kitchens. So you can always you should always look into volunteering because it looks really good on your CV. And then I'd say make sure you have like if you want to try something, this is your chance, this is your moment, because you probably won't have any time when you start working. So yeah, like make sure you join societies, as I've said before, internships. So for DCU, we had to do an internship as part of our course. I was lucky enough to get kept on after my internship. I did my internship at the Mayor, and I'd say it was quite tough, quite busy, but I really enjoyed it. It really made me realize how much I love journalism, how much I love doing breaking news. Um, and obviously Ireland is very expensive. It's gotten even worse. Part-time, you will need a part-time job if you want to live here, unless you have the money to, you have the money to support yourself. It uh, the more you show that you're working and you're like contributing to society, the better it looks when you apply for jobs. And I've for when I was applying for internships, they were giving a lot of they like, obviously the priority was students who had experience in journalism. So I'd say if you have experience in journalism in India or anywhere else, make sure you bring that to the top of your CV. Make sure you talk about it. Make sure you tell them you have experience, you've worked in, beef your CV up a bit, and it really helps. So for me, going from a student visa to a work permit was, so I'm not on a work permit. I am on a different visa. Uh, but I tried to get on a work permit. It was a general work permit, and it was really difficult for me because back when I was trying for it, journalism wasn't really an industry with, like, they didn't really have many international students applying for jobs. So when I tried to get my work permit sorted, it was really difficult for me. Unfortunately, my company didn't really have the information I needed for it. I would, though, my other friends who've since tried have succeeded, have gotten their work permit sorted. I personally would recommend going through a solicitor. It's not very hard, the visa, the forms and stuff, and the stuff you have to, it's not a very complicated process, but I just wanted to make sure that I got it all right. So definitely go through a solicitor's. And I know my friends who have applied as well went through and succeeded, went through a solicitor. So for question 6, I'm not really sure. I don't know if it really, I, I, I can really give advice on that, because we don't really have that sort of stuff in journalism. But I'm just gonna skip to number 7. I would say, so the Irish tax system is very straightforward. You are able to get tax credits and get tax back on a bunch of things. So I would recommend going to Citizens Information. It's a website. You can even ring them. I have found Citizens Information to be the most helpful thing in my time in Ireland. It's basically this department that you can ring, and they have all the information in terms of, your taxes, or even just your visas, your anything and everything. Anything you have questions about in terms of living in Ireland, you go to Citizens Information. in terms of managing finances, Ireland is very expensive, as I've said. It's very it's the I think your biggest cost would be accommodation, followed by food. In terms of accommodation, there is a housing crisis in Ireland. There has been a housing crisis for years now. Unfortunately, rents are very high, and the the level of, they're unfortunately, there is not a lack of homes in Ireland. In there is not a lack of homes in Ireland, but there there are a lot of derelict homes that are, just that haven't been renovated. So unfortunately, there's this kind of artificial scarcity. Uh, Rents are very high. Landlords, it's very expensive to live here. Um, but I would recommend asking around. I would recommend going on Facebook, talking to people. Again, the more you have connections, the easier it is to find a place to live. The official places to, like, the kind of official websites to look for a place in Ireland is daft.ie and rent.ie. Um, I think it's important to stay vigilant when you're looking for a home in Ireland. There are a lot of scams going around. Students are being swindled out of their money. If you just go online and type in Ireland rental scams, you'll see there are loads. There's just loads of information out there. Just be careful, because you'll be every time you go on Facebook and ask about, does anyone have a home, there's always these bots talking about, oh, you should apply to this website and that website. Make sure you only use the official ones. If you can't find the official ones, if they're unhelpful, ask around. It really helps. So for me, I think my biggest connection with my Indian roots is food. So I just tend to, I love cooking, and I love sharing, my culture with my friends who are not Indian, and I tend to cook a lot of Indian food for them. The other ways I think you can stay in touch with your Indian roots is just making sure you talk to your friends and family back home. You'll be very homesick when you come here. Keep that connection. Call people, just it we're very lucky now that we have ways to, you don't have to write a letter and wait months to hear back. But I think, I do apologize. I got a notification there. I think it's important to make sure you are keeping in touch with your family back home. I think it's important to. There are so many Indian communities in Ireland. There's the Hindu temple. There's the Sikh Gurdwara. There's the mosque in somewhere in Dublin 8. So make sure you are keeping in touch. If you're a religious person, these are the places you can go to find your community. So absolutely, keep an eye out. And if you're ever feeling homesick for, if you're craving a certain type of food, there's so many Indian restaurants here that do. I saw a place doing vada pav, which was brilliant. I haven't checked it out yet, because if I crave vada pav, I just make it at home. But no, it's when I came here, I would say we definitely had less options and less choices. But even just in the 8 years that I've been here, we've had a massive boom in the amount of Indian students and Indian professionals coming over. And do keep in touch with the Indian embassy. Just, let them, if they always have events as well. Make sure you go to those events, you network. And yeah, it's just always good to get out there and talk to people. And I think when you're by yourself in a foreign country, it's very easy to just stay in your room and feel overwhelmed. But get out there, talk to people, and it'll really help.